It's time to play some Neo Geo. The Max 330 Mega. Next generation gaming is here on the home consoles. Yeah, we need to feature more Neo Geo on the channel. So I thought let's go with Blazing Star for this episode of Old School. Something or a game, not something. It's not a something, it's a video game. It's a game I haven't played before, but I know it is highly regarded in the Neo Geo community. And what did the Neo Geo do really well? It did fighters really well, fighting games, and shooters, obviously. So, let's see what this is like. Oh, wow. Graphically, just, yeah. This is going to really show off the Neo Geo, I think. So, I have got the wiki for this game open in front of me on the iPad, so I'll glance over from time to time and give you snippets from some articles on there. But let's get used to this game first. Okay, it only seems like one button does anything. I'm pressing the other buttons. I am emulating with the PS5 controller, the DualSense. And like I say, only circle seems to be doing anything, which is fine. Maybe you have to press a combination of buttons to do other stuff. I don't know. Oh, wow, this is fantastic. So if you didn't know, or if you know nothing about this video game, you could only play this in the arcade and, of course, on the Neo Geo, as was the case with a lot of Neo Geo games. They were ports from the arcade. Or not even ports, they directly transferred over, weren't they, to the Neo Geo MVS system, or whatever it's called. As you can gather, I don't know much about Neo Geo at all. So I'm not claiming to be some Neo Geo expert or fan, I'm not. I just had an infatuation of sorts with this console when I was a kid. I never saw one in the flesh as a kid. I used to see them in my Amiga magazines or in my SNES magazines. I think it would have been SNES, that kind of thing, rather than Amiga magazines. In the classifieds, here's your boss. End of stage 1 boss. I love this. Yeah, see him in the classifieds, you'd have to import the Neo Geo over to where I lived in the UK. You couldn't just go to the shop and buy one. They were extremely expensive. The games, I think, were retailing at like £149 each. So that reason alone had me just intrigued. I was like, what's going on with that console? Why are the cartridges, like, bigger than a house? Well, they're not that big. I'm known to exaggerate. But you get the point I'm making, guys. They were bloody big, weren't they? And the controller was massive. So yeah, I was intrigued by it. And it is cool emulating these old Neo Geo games now. It's just the arcade, isn't it, basically? Playing arcade games. So in regards to reception, this game basically did well across the board. 5s out of 5s at magazines like Super Game Power, which was Neo Geo specific, I think. But what I found interesting when I was checking the wiki before hitting record was you can play this on the Switch now, apparently. So that will be some kind of port, I would imagine. I don't think they've made a remake of this game for the Switch. I don't know. I don't know how it would all work. So yeah, I might grab this for the Switch. This is fantastic. It's really good. It's really good fun to play. Graphically superb. Let's throw some more money in. Are you serious? The music's fantastic. It's colourful. It's vibrant. And it's just non-stop, in-your-face action. Yeah, take my money. Or rather not. As was the case when I was a younger man, when the Neo Geo was a thing, because there's not a chance I could afford 1, the console, and then 2, the games. No chance. Dave and I, and my brother, big shout out to Dave and Matt, we actually got to play the Neo Geo in the flesh, or it was the first time for me. I think Dave's got a Neo Geo in his gaming room, but I'd never seen one or touched one. until an expo in Bristol, Gaming Expo, a few years back now. And yeah, it's an impressive bit of kit for its time, for sure. I just don't think there was a market for it here in the UK. Well, there wasn't. There wasn't a market for it. People just couldn't afford it. They couldn't afford the games. It was just like not happening. Let me know in the replies, guys, if any of you owned this, but back in the day, when this was new on the scene. Because surely you had to, like, remortgage your house to buy this and then to build a collection of games. And that was why I think essentially it failed. I'm guessing here. I don't know this. But I'm assuming that is why the Neo Geo did, if you want to say fail, because of the pricing. Who knows? I don't know. I've been spending a bit of time with the Neo Geo Color of late as well, so emulating it, I should say. I haven't got one. So I'll be featuring 1 or 2 games from that system on the channel at some point. There we go. Oh, I love the backgrounds and stuff in this. Look at the graphics there. It looks so good. He just said, hey, poor player. Now, obviously, this is all translated, or I'm assuming it is, because this is a Japanese-developed game. I'm trying to glance over at the iPad, but it's just like, no, this game's too frantic to take my eyes off. But yeah, this is so good. So good. The Neo Geo and also the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine were notorious systems, aren't they, for these shmups, these or side shooters or whatever you want to call them. Like, if your fix was fighting games and shmups, Neo Geo is for you, isn't it? Every day. I will say, though, guys, there was a lot of crap on the Neo Geo as well. A lot of dodgy games. Oh. Look at this. Skills. Your skill is great. Yeah, I love this. Sometimes I like kicking back with a blast 'em up. There you go, I'm going to call them blast 'em ups. As a change of pace, because I don't really play this style of game anymore. Is it as good as something like R-Type? I mean, R-Type, is that the standard that people hold this style of side-on shooter up against? I don't know. Yeah, I prefer this to R-Type, in fact. I think it's more fun. That was a fantastic game as well, of course. But what is the king of side-scrolling shooter? What is the king? Because the shmup, or the top-down shooter, for me, the king would be Xenon 2 Mega Blast, but, like, everyone's got their favourites. Honourable mention for Axley, or Super Axley on the SNES, another fantastic shooter, if not just a Mode 7 showpiece. But yeah, that was so good as well. Yeah, I love this, guys. But it's a quick look at whatever this game is called. I was going to call it Blazing Saddles. For some reason. Let me know in the replies, please, if you played this game in the arcade. I'm assuming the arcade version is exactly the same. But yeah, let me know. Let me know stuff about Neo Geo. Give me some facts. And I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.